Mulligan. I just realized this will be the first episode of the whole series where you're going to see me wearing a jacket. See, normally we visit the tropics, but I guarantee this will be the greenest destination we visited yet. I've got the whole clan with me. We're going to circumnavigate the entire country, the land of my ancestors. Welcome to Great Getaways, Ireland. Another first for Great Getaways, our first ever coach tour, courtesy of Ireland's biggest operator, CIE Tours International. In total comfort, we left the driving to Bob. Traveling with you are brother Mike, myself, son James, smaller son Max, and my lovely bride, Wendy. Beginning a visit to Ireland at the St. Patrick's Day Parade is a bit like a child starting his year at Disneyland. I mean, there's the real danger of the sense that it's all downhill from here. How does one match the thrill and excitement of a national holiday where every citizen gathers and cheers in the streets? It's a 2-week trip, and I have a strong sense that now, as the big party winds down, the real celebration begins at the friendly pace at which Ireland has moved for many centuries. But I have to say, it was a start that will forever live in our memories. Happy St. Patrick's Day, yeah! Ah, Dublin. Old, seasoned, friendly, bold, and delightful. It's the ideal launching point for our circumnavigation of the country. Sending us off in style is Peter Nash of Tourism Ireland.
Well, first of all, we do like to feel that we're the friendliest people in the world, and actually a lot of guidebooks tell us that we're the friendliest people in the world. So we would like to extend a real friendly, warm welcome to everybody in the United States. Well, I think when you come here, obviously you're going to experience the friendly people, but we feel we have an interesting and characterful landscape, which you'll enjoy touring when you come to Ireland. And also we have got a very rich culture. But in truth, Ireland, being a small and interesting country, you're never actually more than about 50 miles from the sea, and really you're never more than about 5 miles from a festival. As a destination, the great news for us is that since the peace process about 15 years ago, we've been able to promote the island of Ireland as a single destination, and having it as a single destination allows us to showcase the diversity north and south.
Our first stop is aboard the Dunbrody emigrant ship, an exact replica of one of the many coffin ships that made the long haul from famine-stricken Ireland to the New World of America. Role players effectively showed just how difficult the crossing was.
25 pounds my husband and I paid for a cabin for ourselves and our 2 children. Like I said, you have to imagine there could be 6 to 10 people in this boat. They're very, very seasick. They often don't make it to the bucket in time.
Sounds awfully rough. Now back to first class on our luxury coach. Next, we headed due south along the coast. Of course, everybody's heard of Waterford Crystal. Well, this is Waterford, Ireland. It's a beautiful, charming little town, great shops, an incredible cathedral just down the street. We're gonna have a look around, do a little shopping, and then we're gonna go actually see how Waterford Crystal is made. For more than 2 centuries, Waterford has been the premier name in crystal the world over. The reputation is well earned, and the process is both an art and a science, as I was able to learn myself firsthand. Not bad, eh?
Waterford have been making crystal in this city since 1783, and last year we opened a brand new facility here in the heart of the city. It's called the House of Waterford Crystal. We produce 2 tons of crystal here a day, using traditional crystal manufacturing, mouth blowing and hand cutting the crystal. The factory tour that we have here allows people to see every aspect of production, right through from design to mold making to blowing. An opportunity to get up and see how those craftspeople blow those large pieces of crystal, right down into our quality stops in the cut shops within the factory. So it's a fantastic opportunity to step back to 1783 and see how we've brought this brand right into the 21st century in what is a state-of-the-art facility here.
House of Waterford Crystal. Clearly an Irish legend.
Getting from Stephen's Green in Dublin to the Guinness Storehouse should take 15 minutes.
That's the way we do it, the Viking plunder.
I still have the mark on the end of my nose. Footprints from the fairy's toes. I think they're speckled, but some say they're freckled. There was a fairy on my nose.
But don't be surprised if you get sidetracked.
Innovation. What it isn't is something that happens step by predictable step. It doesn't always stop at the lights. Sometimes it goes backwards to go forwards. It goes up blind alleys. It zigs and it zags. It wiggles, and then it lets rip. Your job is simple. Just give it the right environment.
Great Getaways Ireland is brought to you by Tourism Ireland. Go where Ireland takes you. IDA Ireland. Aer Lingus. And our hosts, CIE Tours International, like traveling with friends. Next stop is a castle, straight from the pages of a fairy tale.
Behind me is the third castle. The first two were built of wood, starting in the Norman times, and the one behind me was built in 1446. It was never designed for tourism, never planned. From a few thousand people in the 1950s, we got up to about 425,000 people in 2007. It continues to attract huge pilgrims, I think one would call them, especially from the States, to come up to the top of the castle, kiss the stone and gain the gift of eloquence.
130 steps up and I'm ready to earn the gift of gab. The Blarney Stone's around the corner.
Taking a wee way down and kiss and easy and back to me and up you come and enjoy your day.
Thank you, sir.
Tickets from Eddie, won't you?
Ironically, I'm speechless.
Good, not bad.
This is the murder hole. Now, a lot of castles from that era had these. If the castle was being stormed or threatened, guys would be up here with bows and arrows or buckets of boiling oil and such. So they'd murder them right here, right through this hole. Murder hole. The fairy tale never ends here on the grounds of Blarney Castle, from the elegant Blarney house, meandering paths, the mystical gardens, wishing stones, caves, dungeons, and even a hideous, hairless troll living beneath a rock. It's truly magical.
My favorite thing so far about Ireland has to be the people. I love that you can walk up to anybody at all, and just ask them a question and they'll tell you a whole story and they'll entertain you for hours.
On to the Ring of Kerry, a stunning day trip affording some of the most magnificent vistas in Ireland. These beehive dwellings dot the hills and still keep you dry in the rain after 1,500 years. Beautiful and weathered, Dingle is the classic fishing village, and where we found the best fish and chips in Ireland. It's also home to Fungi, the Dingle dolphin, who's been greeting visitors for almost 30 years. For more open space, explore Inch Strand on horseback like these lucky folks did. 2 miles offshore are the Blasket Islands, where hardy people once eked out a tough yet rewarding life, getting all they needed from the stony soil and the wind-blown waters of Blasket Sound. They enjoyed their solitude and, legend says, a bit of distance from the British tax collector. About a third of Ireland is covered with what they call peat bogs. Now, it's ancient vegetation basically that built up over the centuries, and it's about, they say, about 1,000 years per foot. So this would be about 3,000 years of history right here. Now, it's very important to the Irish because they would cut it, and it's called turf, and they dry it and then burn it. So especially during the times of the famine, and this is a very important part of Irish history right here in the peat bogs. Next, we touched down at the Foynes Flying Boat Museum to see and board the world's only full-size replica of the mighty Boeing 314 Clipper. It was a long-range flying behemoth with a history that touched many Americans.
Boeing built 12 of these aircraft back in the 30s, and Pan American used them to do the first transatlantic flights, and they arrived here in Foynes from New York via Newfoundland in Canada. Foynes became the centre of the aviation world because you couldn't fly from the United States to Europe without coming in here on a civilian airliner. What's historic about this is that none of them were actually preserved, so we built this from drawings given to us by Boeing. And we're very, very proud of it because not alone can you see outside it, but you actually can go on board, and you can also see that all these passengers travelled in the highest of luxury, of course at a very high price. You had to be very important, movie star, royalty, or very wealthy to travel in those days. We're very proud, very, very proud of our Yankee Clipper aircraft, and we're very proud of all our American visitors because this is your history as much as it's ours.
Another type of history was made here in Foynes as well. This very spot was the birthplace of Irish coffee, and they'll still teach you the proper way to make it today.
And this is just to heat the glass. It doesn't matter how much I put in.
No, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
Now, it's very important to stir your coffee at this stage to dissolve all the sugar. So, just like that.
Well, you did a great job.
It's going to.
Cheers. Thank you.
Wendy earned a diploma and a whipped cream mustache. The journey continues northward along Ireland's rugged west coast. Now this looks like it's straight out of a Lord of the Rings movie, and it sounds like it too. Behold, the Cliffs of Moher. The towering 700-foot Cliffs of Moher were a welcome sight for weary mariners out at sea who knew they weren't far from home. The cliffs are also a birdwatcher's paradise and remain one of Ireland's top tourist attractions. It's certainly easy to see why the Cliffs of Moher are now being considered as one of the 7 wonders of the natural world.